Hello, it's me, Mario. Woohoo! You watching GRTV, my favorite. Wahoo!
So Mortal Kombat, once again, is a series of a long history now. So what are you bringing to the Mortal Kombat franchise this time?
I think you can describe this Mortal Kombat game as a return. And, you know, Mortal Kombat's had a number of iterations where we've made some changes and we made some pretty big departures. The last game that we did was actually a T-rated game. It was actually for younger audiences, and that created kind of like a desire to see Mortal Kombat return to where it is. This is what it's doing. It's returning in every single way in terms of the presentation. It's a mature rated presentations. We have fatalities back, kind of signature Mortal Kombat feature. It's going back to the 2D combat, which is a big part, and it's a lot more accessible because of that. And it's also easily the deepest Mortal Kombat in terms of fighting mechanic. You know, we have the first time we're really catering to the hardcore fighting game player.
Do you think that that's something for the fighting genre in general? Because we've seen that with Street Fighter coming out again with a 2D fighter. Marvel vs. Capcom is coming back. Do you think that's a trend that we'll see more of in the years to come?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think we're witnessing it not just in fighting game categories, but in other categories as well. You know, we're seeing like a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of going back to it, you know, Twisted Metal, and then Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat. I think it's a general trend in, you know, that there seems to be a wave of these games kind of going back.
Do you think that's a way to keep them modern at the same time?
Yes, I think, you know, a lot of these games, they're kind of showing the kind of classic gameplay, classic features that they remember, but with the most sophisticated graphics. You know, Mortal Kombat, we're going back to the 2D gameplay, but it's easily the most sophisticated presentation that we're giving in terms of graphics, animation, and even gameplay. It's a lot deeper gameplay.
A lot of the fighting genre also for people like me can be quite esoteric at times, but I'll give you the chance anyway to perhaps explain the more finer details of the game mechanics.
Sure. It's like I said, we're returning to the 2D gameplay, so I really feel that like the kind of mass market people will be able to pick up the game, throw Scorpion Spear, throw you know, Sub-Zero's Ice Ball. Everybody will still be able to do that. But now we're adding kind of like these smaller windows of opportunity for the hardcore players to interrupt their special move, enhance their special move, or combine their special move with another special move. And that's really like the kind of the magic that I feel is we're going to be really catering to those more hardcore players with those opportunities, but at the same time still letting somebody tap triangle will throw the spear, and then you'll still be able to kind of enjoy it from a more casual level.
Did you ever fear with you talked about T-rated game, and of course as a DC Universe crossover, did you ever feel like Mortal Kombat risked losing its sense of identity in general?
Yeah, you know, whenever we make a big departure, there's always a concern on our part about, you know, are you going to alienate any of the people? But at the same time, when, you know, the last game was the 8th iteration of Mortal Kombat, I don't think you can kind of repeat the same formula over and over again, or you're just going to see your sales going down and down. So we were nervous about it, but, you know, we sold, you know, 2.5 million units, and so we were happy with the results. And at the same time, I think it created a nice void for a period of time that people haven't seen a traditional M-rated Mortal Kombat game, and that void is what we're filling with this game.
Is there anything else you feel that you mentioned improved graphics, of course, with the new generations of hardware and so on, always improving, but is there anything else you can do now that wasn't possible when games like Mortal Kombat started coming out?
Sure. Online is a big component. You know, we have in the first Mortal Kombat, it was an arcade game. It was much more of a social experience, and you'd play against people, and that was a big part of the magic of the game, is fighting against strangers. There was a period of time when the arcades went away, but online didn't have a big presence. Now online's a huge presence, and so you can always find players to play against. And now with this new Mortal Kombat, we have features where 8 people can get into a room and kind of battle it out with each other and see who's kind of king of the hill. We have a lot more of these alternate modes to a story mode and a challenge mode, so it's game feature-wise, you know, online and just the current console sophistication allows us to do a lot more.
Is there anything that you really felt was important to put into this game, more important than anything else?
To me, what we're most excited about is kind of like our new fighting mechanic. You know, like I said, you really, every once in a while, you got to just kind of wipe the slate clean and present a new game to players. And that's what we're really doing, is presenting the 2D fighting with the deeper fighting engine, I think, is a huge component of it. And at the same time, presenting players with things that they're familiar with, you know, some of our backgrounds and our characters and features, you know, the toasty guy, all of those kind of crazy things, but with the current technology. I think the combination of those two is really kind of like the magic that we're tapping into.
What do you think is it that brings people back to the fighting genre over and over again? Because we've seen during a couple of years, we saw mostly, you know, the grades started to dip for several series. We saw certain game companies, who shall not be mentioned, just put out iteration after iteration of their games instead of making new stuff. What do you think is that attracts people back to just two characters duking it out? Or did I just answer my own question there?
I think there is a simplicity, a basic simplicity to two people fighting it out, you know, with you know, you're not worried about, RTS games where you have 10 things happening at the same time. It's basically, you know, is my punch going to hit you? Is my kick going to hit you? And then all of a sudden you do, to me, what separates Mortal Kombat from other games is we have the kind of crazy moves. You know, people teleport off the side of the screen, and the casual player can access those moves. Some of the fighting games have some great features, and I'm a big fan of them. But I see a move that's really complicated to do, and I realize, you know what, 90% of the audience is not going to be able to enjoy this move or appreciate it. And with Mortal Kombat, we always kind of put it to the point where we're saying, you know, we want most people to be able to access this move and have fun with it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.